Well, hello and welcome, everybody. So it is a wonderful Thursday. It is maybe a little bit warm outside, but but a quiet day in the office. And I haven't had too many days over the summer where it's often been running from one thing to another. And this time with Pastor Ben out of the office and a few other people gone, that it's just been, okay, we're a little bit quieter, but we've got our regular things. We've got our stuff. So we have stuff happening and people to go see and things to do. But thankful that there hasn't been a whole terrible number of surprises. So we'll see what the rest of the week brings and what happens over the weekend. But we are excited to be here and to continue on. So. As I mentioned, Pastor Ben has been out. He has been at it's a nationwide synod gathering. So Lutheran ELCA churches from around the nation, they are all gathered. It's Phoenix this year, so this one, it bounces around different places. It'll be different places nationwide. This year it wound up in Phoenix. And so Pastor Ben went down there. He's on the Synod Council as well. And he might have sent an update if we could find that. But he's going to let us know a little bit more about what he's up to and what's going on from Phoenix. So, yeah, if we can go to that.
Well, hey, everybody. I hope you're doing well. I'm day 4 here at the Churchwide Assembly for our Evangelical Lutheran Church in America. It's been full, morning till night, nonstop. And I'm just about ready to go into another session. We did elect a new presiding bishop yesterday, Bishop Curry from Metropolitan Chicago Synod. So from being the synodical bishop to becoming our presiding or national bishop, we are working on all sorts of resolutions, including we passed one yesterday talking about the evils and the destruction done in Indian boarding schools from back in the day, and trying to repent from that, and acknowledge where mistakes were made and lives were hurt. Also working on some other resolutions about faith and civic life, so that we can be engaged in the civic and political process, but also keeping our faith at the center of that. Talking about the genocide happening in the Holy Land and how Christians are being killed because of the violence there. So on and on. We're dealing with a lot of different things, all good things. I'm tired, but I'm reinvigorated. Things are going well. And I can't wait to get home to be with you all, because it just feels like I've been on a, one of those gerbil wheels where things are, just spinning. So I'm ready to be home, and that will come soon. But got to finish off the work here. We're going to try to elect a secretary, which is less about taking notes and more about governance, constitutions, and the roster of pastors and deacons. And it's a very important role within the ELCA. So we're working on that too. So just all sorts of good things going on. And I just wanted to check in real quick and tell you that my heart's with you. I'm thinking about all of you, and I can't wait to be home and back in the saddle. So I will talk to you soon. I'll see you this weekend. God bless you. Take care. Love you. Bye.
All right. So, and I was chatting with him a little bit. It sounds like they are keeping everybody pretty busy, kind of bright and early in the morning till sundown. It's been kind of a nonstop thing. They've been really busy, and just a lot of. But he said it was a lot of interesting conversations and super inspiring. The way that worship looked, and the way they were interacting with everybody. So I'm excited to hear about all of that. Although I don't know. I mean, Pastor Ben's excited to come back here, and I think that's that'll be great. He should be back in time for at least the Sunday morning services, because he's preparing a sermon for Sunday morning anyway. So he'll be ready to roll with some of that stuff. But he still has a busy schedule, so you can still keep him in prayers, as he's got to come back on late Saturday. He's going to have services on Sunday, and then I think some of us are hoping to help him start moving some of his stuff on Sunday that week, and then moving, and then he's going out to get his father and a few other things. So it's still a bit of a busy schedule and a lot going on there, but hopefully we can keep rolling along, and no other major disasters or anything else going on here. So things are still looking pretty good right here at CLC. So we're giving thanks for all of that. And I know there's just a lot of good stuff though, and that's what I want to keep our hearts moving toward. I know just blessed to last night working with our youth group, and just what a wonderful group of kids continuing to meet through the summer, and then all the events planning in youth all the way through to adults, and lots of stuff planned for the fall and the rest of the summer. So excited about all of that. But with that being said, if we look back, last weekend we had, as a part of our worship service, our KCLC sermon series, we had a song that we featured at every one of the services, and then we're going to take a little bit of time to revisit that song now. This one, it goes back to being released in 1988, but it's a song by Tracy Chapman, and I think it really dives into some real issues, and it talks about what it means to search for hope in this song, and there's so much to say about hope, and so much in the Bible as well. The Bible will speak of where hope is found, and the difficulty of finding what a real and certain hope actually looks like. And so we're going to go back now and revisit this song. I think we're looking at the version. This was a version that came out at, I believe it's at 11 o'clock, but we'll take a look here, see what we find.
3, 4. Fast car. I want a ticket to anywhere. Maybe we make a deal. Maybe together we can get somewhere. Any place is better. Starting from zero, got nothing to lose. Maybe we make something. Me, myself, I got nothing to prove. You got a fast car. I got a plan to get us out of here. Been working at a convenience store. Managed to save just a little bit of money. We won't have to drive too far. Just cross the border and into the city. You and I can both get jobs. Finally see what it means to be living. My old man's got a problem. Live with the bottle, that's the way it is. He said his body's too old for working. His body's too young to look like his. My mama went off and left him. She wanted more from life than he could give. I said, somebody's gotta take care of him. So I quit school, that's what I did. You got a fast car. Is it fast enough so we can fly away? We gotta make a decision. Leave tonight or live and die this way. Fast car. We go cruising, entertain ourselves. You still ain't got a job. Now I work in a market as a checkout girl. I know things will get better. You'll find work and I'll get promoted. We'll move out of the shelter, buy a bigger house and live in the suburbs. I remember when we were driving in your car, speed so fast, felt like I was drunk. City lights lay out before us, and your arm felt nice wrapped around my shoulder. And I had a feeling that I belonged. I had a feeling I could be someone, be someone, be someone. You got a fast car. I got a job that pays all our bills. You stay out drinking late at the bar. See more your friends than you do your kids. I'd always hope for better. Thought maybe together you and me'd find it. I got no plans, I ain't going nowhere. So take your fast car and keep on driving. I remember when we were driving in your car. Speed so fast, felt like I was drunk. City lights lay out before us, and your arm felt nice wrapped around my shoulder. And I had a feeling that I belonged. I had a feeling I could be someone, be someone, be someone. You got a fast car. Is it fast enough so you can fly away? We gotta make a decision. Leave tonight or live and die this way.
right. Wonderful. Just the version there. So Carolyn Clark was the one who sang that. She's a member of our choir, and she's been wonderful to have. Every time we ask her to do something, she's almost always, if she can at all, she says yes. And it's not a small thing, by the way. When we have somebody sing one of these songs, they come in on Saturday night, then at 8 o'clock in the morning, and it's not easy, by the way, either for these singers to come in and to do what they do and sing what they sing bright and early at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then all the way through each one of our 4 services, so 5 p.m. on Saturday, and then back at 8, 9:30, and 11, and to do all of that. And so thankful we have just people who are, like Carolyn Clark, part of our CLC church choir, and willing to come in and do that, and not just sing the song, but put so much heart into it as well. So all the people who offer each one of these KCLC songs, and just in general, the people who we have at CLC, we are really, really blessed to have that. And so really, really grateful for that, and the amount of just the pouring out of themselves that they'll do for some of these songs. So in some of my, as I was looking back and diving into this song this past week, so Tracy Chapman wrote that in 1986 when she was 22 years old. And she said she did not realize it at the time when she was writing it, but maybe several years later, after reflecting on it, after the song had come out, and it wasn't immediate. It wound up, she was kind of supposed to be kind of a backup singer at a service with Nelson Mandela, so just kind of offering something to help out apartheid in South Africa, and she wound up being one of the lead songs and led with Fast Car, and that actually kind of put her on the map there. But it was after that, after the song kind of became famous, that she said she believes, as she was writing it, she said she was just writing it in general, writing it in the first person about a couple trying to make it through the cycles of poverty. But as she grew a little bit older, she says, you know what, I feel like what I was actually doing was I was writing about my own parents. And she had parents who really struggled finding their path in and out of poverty, getting knocked down again and again. And the song is about trying to find hope, trying to find a hope that maybe together they can get through this. And then it also has that line at the end of, sometimes we face in life where sometimes people don't figure it out. And there is that last verse of the song where it says that she's out there, and her, this man she's with is spending more time at the bar and sees more of his friends than he does with her kids. So take your fast car and keep on driving. And sometimes you have to let go. Sometimes you're stuck in that balance. But there's always this hope that you find throughout the song in trying to believe that we can do this better together. And there are times where we do have to let go. We do have to release. But there's always that hope. If we can find it, we can do this together. And it's not easy. I was drawn to the Old Testament story and the book of Ruth in the Bible. And Ruth is a story, if you don't know the story of Ruth, it's an Old Testament story about an older woman who goes off to live in another country after a famine in Israel. So she goes off to live in another country called Moab. And while she's there, her husband dies, and all her sons, she just had, I think, she had those 2 different sons, and each of her sons die. And now she's just left with 2 daughters-in-law who there's no blood relation to either one of them. And she's telling them, don't come with me. I'm going back to Israel. I have nothing. Return home, my daughters. I'm too old to have another husband. It is more bitter for me than for you. The Lord's hand has turned against me. And so she's just feeling like she has to reject everybody, turn everything away. And Ruth very famously says, no, where you go, I will go. Where you stay, I will stay. Where your God will be my God, your people will be my people. Where you die, I'll die. And saying we can do this together. And it's a story of finding hope in the midst of that kind of desperation and a real faithfulness there, and finding that real kind of faith. But certainly not easy to come by, and certainly for any one of us, if maybe sometimes it's the financial struggles, it is poverty. Sometimes it's just other stresses in life get to us, and it is hard to find a real hope. And as I looking for where the word hope shows up in the Bible, even throughout the stories of Jesus, there is hope that shows up all the time, but at the same time, people are using their hope in all kinds of the wrong ways. The only ways that hope is actually used in, like the Gospel of Luke, which tells the story of Jesus, it's used in all the wrong ways. People using their hope, putting their hope in all the wrong places. And so the word hope is used 3 times in the Gospel of Luke. First time in chapter 20, where people were hoping to catch Jesus in that he would say something wrong. And so they're keeping their eyes on him, and they're putting their hope and trying to catch him to prove that Jesus is wrong. And wow, how often we can do that. We put our hope in, we're so divided politically, and I think it's good to be informed politically. It's good to be aware of what's going on, and it's good to have our passions and fight for what we believe is right. But putting our hope in, I just want to see what they do wrong and try to tear somebody down and hope in that they'll mess up, and not putting our hope primarily in where can I find life and what leads to true hope. And that's one area. So hope shows up there as they hope they can catch Jesus. And then in Luke chapter 23, people hope to see Jesus perform a sign. And it wasn't about I want to see this impact my life. It's more about, I want to see you do a magic trick almost, which is, so it's not great there. It's actually the people who were with King Herod, who was not a hero in the story. So we know it's not with a good intention there. And then finally in Luke chapter 24, you have some people, this is after Jesus has been crucified and raised from the dead, you had some people who were saying, well, we had hoped Jesus was the one who would redeem Israel. And that was the right hope there, but they'd seen too much pain, too much stress. They'd let go of that hope. And so each one of those, that's the only 3 times hope shows up in Luke's gospel. But I think it's an important reminder of saying all the ways we put our hope in the wrong thing. What does it mean for us? What does it mean in your life to put hope in something that will last? And so I want to close with a verse from 2 Corinthians chapter 5. Therefore, if anyone is in Christ, a new creation has come. The old has gone, the new is here. Believing that there is hope in your life. There is a newness, there is new life to be able to grow and to share and to live into that each and every day. And that's a hope and prayer for each and every one of you. It's something that we can all take, and even if it's a difficult moment, even if we're stuck in a cycle of whether it's financial or just the stress of the world, to find that hope, to find that love, and to find that grace wherever we are. So with that, Philip is not here with us today. He has always a busy schedule, so he's not able to be here with us. And I have not been practicing my piano lessons, so I'm not going to jump over to Philip's piano either. So with that, we're going to go and close. But know that we invite you to join us back this weekend. We have Robbie tomorrow, on Friday at 3 o'clock, and then Saturday and all Sunday morning, we'll have a new song queued up for you from the KCLC sermon series. And Pastor Ben might not be back on Saturday, but he'll be preaching on Sunday. So with that, hope you have a wonderful weekend, and stay cool out there, and God bless. Take care, everybody.